ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you how I make my fresh fish egusi soup. Here I have some fresh croaker. After the croaker, I added onions and habanero pepper. That's all I have in that. Onions and habanero pepper, and then I added my seasonings. The names are here on the screen so you can see the seasonings that I used for this. And then I'm adding my water. With water, you don't need to add too much because you know the fish is going to get out its own water once it starts boiling. So don't add too much water. I don't like watery soup, so I always like to make my soup with less water, not too much water. Then I'm going to mix everything in. I'm mixing everything in so that the seasoning and the pepper can get into the fish. And right after that, I'm going to add my washed and blended crayfish. And I'm going to also mix it in just like I mixed in the other ones. Mix everything in. You don't want the fish not to have the seasoning. So mix everything. And I'm also trying hard not to, be so hard on the fish. So I am mixing it as gentle as I can, not making it to break up. Then I close my pot and I'm going to give this 5 to 7 minutes to boil. After that time, I open the pot again and now I'm going to add my palm oil. With palm oil, it depends on how much oil you like. You add your palm oil and I'm going to, try to move it around so that the oil can get around the fish and everything, and I'm going to cover this up and let it cook for another 5 to 7 minutes, not too long. 5 to 7 minutes will do the magic. Let it cook for those minutes while I get my egusi. You blend your egusi. After blending, you're going to mix it up with just water. Sometimes I add salt. That's if I notice I don't have enough salt in my soup already. I add some salt, but most times I just mix it with water and I start to scoop it into the soup. Just gently as I'm doing here. You scoop it into the soup because you don't want it to just scatter. You want it to, scatter, but at the same time have some, a little bit of lumps left in the egusi. I do this always because I don't want my egusi to just be blended into the soup. I just need that little, pieces of egusi mix once it's done cooking. So you just use your spoon and scoop it in. Just scoop it in. It doesn't need any measurement. It doesn't need anything. Just scoop it as much as you can. Not too, the quantity should not be too much. Just like I'm doing here with just the spoon, the little spoon. And you put it all around in every corner of the soup. And you're going to just cover this up and allow it to cook for another 5 minutes. You don't want it to overcook. 5 minutes should do the magic. And then once it's cooked, what I did was turn off the stove because I didn't want the splashes. And then I opened the pot. You can see the egusi is dissolved, but not totally. It has some little lumps, which was the whole idea of me just scooping it in with spoon. And you gently mix it in. The fish is there. You don't want the fish broken, but the fish at this point has gotten everything. So you bring out all the fish. That is what I do. If I'm going to add vegetable, I take out all the fish, I mix the base very well. And at this point, I add my vegetable. Today, I'm using ugu leaves. I happen to run into fresh ugu leaves and I got some. So I'm using ugu leaves. You can use any vegetable of your choice. It doesn't really matter. But today, I'm using ugu leaves. So you add the leaves in. By the way, this leaf was washed and chopped up. You wash it first before you cut it up. And then you put it in your soup, just as I'm doing. You put it in and then you can just mix it or you just pat it in the way I'm doing with my spoon. Just push it into the sauce. And as you can see, the soup is still not watery. You're going to be surprised that once this vegetable boils and cooks, it's going to, release its own water and there's going to be water in the soup. So don't always add too much water. Just, do it the way I'm showing you here and you will get the perfect texture of soup, not watery soup. So I'm putting back the stove here and I'm going to let this cook for another 5 minutes, not more than that. And right then, everything is cooked. I open the pot and I'm mixing everything. You can't really see me do most things because I'm the one videoing. So I put the video down and do some mixing. So I mixed it all thoroughly. Everything is mixed in. You make sure it is mixed. And at this point, you check for taste and see if every seasoning has has gone into the soup, and then you place the fish back gently into the soup. I didn't show you that part because I had to put the camera down to do that. You can see the soup is not watery and it's not too thick. It's just in the right texture. So this is how I make my egusi soup, and it turns out right every time I do it. So if you want to do this, I just challenge you to do that right now. It's delicious, it's simple, and you will love it. Thank you for watching me today. Until next time, it's ciao ciao, bon appetit, and see you later. Are you hungry? Are you hungry? Yeah, 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 go to mama's. Are you hungry? Are you hungry? Yeah, 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 go to mama's kitchen.